What? What do you want? What do you need? Do you want to join in? Do you want to join in? Okay, we are recording. Come on. Sit the butt down. Put that elevator butt down. Come on. Hey, keep moving. Keep moving. I need my elbow has to sit there. I'm trying to look at a book. Hey. You insisted on being present for this one. So I can't wait to see what it means. You insisted on being here. And you're welcome to be here. But you're stuck with me until this video is over. It won't be long. It's a 10-minute video only. That's the rules. But you're prolonging it. We're prolonging it. Yeah, we're playing around. We're fine. We're musical tablecloth or table here. We're looking for 8 degrees of Aquarius. We've got it. Remember, we're on. Okay. I forgot that I freaking hit the damn button, but that's okay. This is all good. This is all astrology and taffy too. Yeah, we got taffy too here. All right. So, cats and light, cats and the sun. Yeah. Sitting on the savannah all day, just sitting there looking up at the sun, right? Sunbathing. That's a big thing for cats. So it's interesting because Leo energy, cat energy, right? Even though we would talk about domestic pets being in the sign of Virgo. So that's anything that you domesticate, right? That's in the home or that you feel is, I shouldn't say in the home, but domesticated, right? You need a brush. But we're not doing it right now. So we're on Aquarius, but again, the opposite of Aquarius, Leo energy. Fascinating, right? Yeah. So I just had the 8. Are you coming or are you going? It looks like she's getting ready to pounce. There's nobody in here, but she's got her face towards the door. You see this one? Smart. Never put your back towards the door. Okay, I don't even know if everybody can hear us or hear me. All right, how is everybody doing? We're talking about the 8 degrees of Aquarius because Pluto's going through Aquarius, right? And so this is a new territory. As I've been yelling it, virgin territory is how I've been labeling it because nobody that's alive has lived through this. So let's just get on with it. This is the welcome back. This is the 8th part of the Aquarius series. There are 7. Actually, there's 7 previous videos. Got to catch my words. Got to catch up to my words. 7 previous videos because it starts at 0 degrees of Aquarius. Right. All right. So this one, they give us a image, and the image is beautifully gowned wax figures on display. Beautifully gowned wax figures on display. Got that image locked in? Keynote: the inspiration one may derive from the appearance of exemplars or exemplars, however you pronounce that, EXEMPLARS. You see her now. And he capitalized the E. So I'll just start from the beginning. The inspiration that one may derive from the appearance of exemplars who present to us the archetypes of a new culture. This is some deep shit, isn't it? Like, this is some powerful stuff. This is giving us, foreshadow isn't the right word, but he's Dane Rudhyar. This is the book we're reading from, Astrological Mandala or Mandela or Mandala, however you pronounce it. Yeah, it's his reinterpretation of the Sabian symbols. So if you're not familiar with any of that, just throw it in your Google and you'll figure it out. The name of the book, I already said it, an Astrological Mandala. So he says here, we are dealing here with the fixed symbols upon which a culture is based, with mental archetypes. So mental, the thinking, right? They are kept and made available as patterns to imitate, or at least from which to draw new motives for inspiration. Now, there's a lot of truth in that, right? Some may be like, well, what does that mean? I don't understand that. And I'm just going to throw, my G sense back in here, because when I read something like that, I remember when I was taking drawing classes, right? Had never taken a drawing class in my life until college. Like, it was the first time ever I felt so, I just felt like I was a I don't even know if fish out of water is appropriate because at least the fish is then on land and there's normally land on water and it's on the earth. I felt like I really didn't belong there. Like I had no business being in that drawing class. I had zero skill sets and I didn't know anything, like anything, teacher saying the words and I'm just like completely lost. It's a drawing class. It can't be the rocket hard. That's what most people think. I was very intimidated. I just felt like there's no way in hell. Well, you go through the class and you learn and they introduce you to things you've never done. That's the whole point of learning, right? Which is what the age of Aquarius is about, right? Doing things we've never done. But yet falling back on previous on precedent, whatever was established as precedent from our ancestors. He talks about ancestral history and knowledge at all the degrees, it seems like, right? And so in this one, stating mental archetypes available as patterns to imitate. Patterns to imitate. So in drawing class, I'm going back to my drawing class because I never took band class, right? There was some humor in there. I was surprised because actually multiple instructors, they would encourage us to go and look at the works of the masters. And these would be masters from, I'm not going to say because I forgot a lot of stuff already. So anyway, if you just look up master artists, right, you're talking like the Renaissance period, right? You're talking like names you've heard of because you've seen their stuff in a museum, those kind of masters, right? And so anyway, we were then encouraged to photocopy the shit, print it or download it, whatever, online, and then try to emulate it. Try to emulate it. Like take what you see, not sketching it or not outlining it. They're not encouraging that. They're saying look at it and then try to emulate it. Try to reproduce what you see. And the goal was, well, I didn't even know what the goal was at that time. That was just the topic, right? But what I found out as a student, was, because I'm really into the details, like obviously astrology, the details. And so I was looking at this artist's work and I was like, wow, you can see their strokes. You can see their strokes. And by their strokes, you can see if they're soft or if they're hard, if they're intense, right? Or if they're light and feathery so that you can't even see their strokes, like Da Vinci, right? So the night and day difference between Da Vinci and Michelangelo, right? Big differences, and like lots of differences with all the artists. So in that process, just observing that, it was a real learning experience for me because I was learning about them just by looking at their work and trying to reproduce their work. And in that process, I didn't know what my own skill level was, nor did I know what my own style was. And that's important. The skill level is what we're trying to adapt when we're looking at the masters, when we're looking at the precedent, when we're looking at the rubrics or the previous form or pattern, what he used, the word pattern. And so myself, I then had to understand that I was trying to figure out what my own style was. I did not know that. Your instructors aren't telling you right from the get-go. They want you to struggle through it, because it's the journey that matters, right? If they help you along that journey or make shortcuts for you, it's not going to be as beneficial as if you had to create something and then fail a few times and then struggle. The struggle is really vital. The struggle is really vital. So through that struggling and throwing tons of things away and then being like, okay, I think I made a mistake. I never should have took this class, or I should have I'm crazy if I think I can do this right. Everybody goes through their own moments of self-doubt, right? And so I found out through that process that I had a style, and you're probably going to chuckle at this because I laugh when I think back on it. But at one point, multiple times, I got frustrated. And when I get frustrated, at least with that, I would, because you have a time limit, right? Especially when you're doing work in class, like at the end of the class, you have to have a piece produced. So here I had worked on this one piece and my one instructor came up to me and he's looking at it, which was typical. They critique you throughout the class. And he was just like, no, we don't have time for that kind of he didn't say that style. He just said, we don't have time for that type of drawing right now. And I didn't even know what the hell he meant. I was like, what? And I'm thinking, okay, I just spent how much time on this and I only have X amount of time left. So he really put me under the gun, so to speak, because I had to start from scratch again. And I had a smaller amount of time, I had like half of the amount of time in which to produce something by the end of the class. So what I didn't realize that for me, being under pressure like that, in that the crunch zone, I felt frustrated and I thought, well, screw it. Just grab whatever, and just get some shit on paper, so I can prove that I wasn't, whatever. I just felt frustrated and I didn't even think, honestly. It was my Aryan energy coming out. I was frustrated. And in my frustration, I just grabbed something and I was kind of angry when I put it on the paper. So I really wasn't thinking too much about it. I was taking lots of shortcuts in my mind. I was overlooking a lot of things in my mind. And if you know my mind, you'll understand what comes next. So the end of the class comes and the instructor walks up and he's surprised. And I'm thinking, oh, great. Great. What the hell does that mean? Like after I just heard what he said before and everybody else was still working on their original pieces, I was just like, oh God, this is not going to be good. And he was pleasantly surprised. And I had to take another look at the piece, at what I had done. And I thought, why does he think this is good? What does he like about this? And I honestly can't remember what he said at the time. This was some years back. I have no clue what he said. But then every time I look back at that piece, which it's been a long time, but I look back at that and I'm shocked because the style that was used in that drawing was bizarre. It was like foreign to me. It was very bizarre. And so it wasn't a painting class, right? So we were using Conti, I believe, a mixture of Conti and charcoal. And anyway, which was a different medium from what I had begun the project with. I was using graphite, right? Which is what I would doodle with when I was a kid. Pencil, free. It doesn't cost anything, And so anyway, that was my thing. And I'm sorry, I'm going a little long on this story. But my point is, it was that journey. Like I was following work of a master, but at the same time, I had certain parameters I had to function in. It was all new in so many ways. Couldn't even use the damn pencil that I was familiar with, right? Had to use these other supplies. And somehow something turned out. Might not have been a work. I don't know. I have no idea. I honestly can't remember if there was a grade like that. I don't think that's how he did his work. But anyway, I look back on that drawing now and I say, wow, I actually like what I did. And it's so weird because I was so frustrated doing it. I was so frustrated and rushing it. And for me, a lot of the stuff that held me back in drawing was I was always looking, because for me, Virgo in the fifth house is my creativity, joy. I can disappear, but it's Virgo. So I'm looking at the details. I want every detail to be perfect. Perfection, Virgo energy, perfection, super idealistic, right? And that's what I would do with the stuff when I would start working on it. It was like, it was never good enough. I always felt like I can make it better. So the point of all of that is to say I was getting in my own way. When I was put under pressure, I couldn't go back and fall upon my old standby, which was pay attention to every frickin' minutia, right? I couldn't do it. So I got kind of put on whatever. I was put on, anyway. I don't know what the hell I was put on. I was put on the spot, basically. That's not what I was hearing, but it was put on the spot and I had to produce. So this makes me think of that. I don't know why, but it just came flooding in. So I thought I should share my little G sense in that to make sense out of it. But this would apply to you in your life in whatever it is that you do, right? In our world and whatever we're trying to figure out that's new, but yet we got to follow some old available patterns from the past to imitate, or at least from which to draw new motives for inspiration. We are at the stage of vision. New forms are revealed to the consciousness, as well as new ways of meeting other people in social relationships. Wow, this is interesting, isn't it? In a sense, The generic human, this is an extra thought he puts in here. In a sense, the generic human past and the future are implied here. Wax figures are impersonal forms. The wax figures are impersonal forms. Oh, I forgot all about the damn wax figures. Was all talking about my story. Beautifully gowned waxed figures on display. So art. Oh my God. Okay. Totally relatable. So the wax figures are impersonal forms. The gowns constitute a static presentation of ideal patterns. Yet they are the preformation or preformation. I'm not sure. Looks like preformation of what will be experienced in the culture that is being born. They herald new collective developments. Wow. This was powerful. This was really powerful. So yes, please give me your feedback. What do you think about this? This was the 8 degrees of Aquarius. I spent a lot of time expanding upon my input, and it turns out it was totally relevant. Thank God. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to the preformation of what will be experienced in the culture that is being born. They herald new collective developments. Wow. So finally, 8 degrees of Aquarius is really, truly talking about something more on a global scale, it sounds like, at least cultural scales. We'll put it like that way because he's referring to that. And this is fascinating. 8 degrees of Aquarius. So look down below the video. I will have the details in what degrees and what minutes fall under the realm of 8 degrees. Yeah, it's a thing. The minutes matter with Pluto. All right. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye. Below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.